The red sky with the big woo. We're very excited. Welcome in, Mary Cutrufello.
Hello. It is delightful to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad. I know we tried once before, and I'm so excited to have you here.
You made it happen. Are we on video too?
Yeah,
We are.
Oh, okay. Off go the glasses, and down comes the hair.
Okay. Oh, a whole radio appearance. I should have warned you earlier. I'm sorry.
Usually I don't do this for radio. I didn't wear a Western shirt, but I can't do anything about that now.
And also, it's cold outside, so you are dressed for the weather. You are dressed for the weather. Yes. And I'm going to use that to segue because you have such a depth of music and things that you've done. But for folks who don't know you, you've lived many different places.
This is true.
So weather to Connecticut to Texas. Tell us a little bit about just your background.
Okay. I grew up in Connecticut, and I lived there till I graduated from college, and at which point I had been playing guitar for about 12 years.
Wow.
I started when I was 9, so I graduated I was 21. And by that point, I had gone all the way through classic rock and Broadway and whatever else, whatever band my college band was doing. It was kind of a little mishmash of. It was the Northeast in the late '80s and early '90s, so there was a lot of things like what we just heard.
Take that.
There was extended guitar solos, which meant we had less original songs to produce for the band.
Yeah.
But towards the end of my college career, I discovered country music, which doesn't have much purchase in Connecticut. And but I managed to find it, and I said, man, I got to go where this is coming from. And I said, well, it's either Nashville or Texas, and I chose Texas, almost like with a flip of a coin. It doesn't feel that way now.
Right.
Because I can't imagine doing what I did coming out of Nashville, but there I was in my brand new 1991 Ford Ranger.
Ooh.
With a camper top on, or a cap as we called it then. Trundling down to Austin, Texas to I don't know what I was going to do, but I did it.
And did you know folks there?
Nope.
And for folks who aren't near our age, there's no internet.
No.
Did you have a plan? Did you have anything?
Well, I knew that Austin City Limits came from there. It was right in the name of the show.
Yes.
So I found Austin on a map, and I drew a line, and that was pretty much it. My parents had a friend that I was able to stay with for a couple of days while I kind of got the lay of the land. But you're right. It was I was trying to discover this music. I graduated from college with an American Studies degree, which is kind of cultural history, and I'd done a bunch of work on highways and railroads, which kind of...
I did know that, yes.
Yeah, stood me in good stead as a songwriter, for this kind of music.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there was no YouTube. There were a couple of used record stores, but it wasn't like country records popped up in the used bins.
No.
And so I had Guitar Town by Steve Earle, and I had Hillbilly Rock by Marty Stewart, and I had Buenas Noches from a Lonely Room by Dwight Yoakam.
Nice.
And that was almost it. Not quite, but almost. Those were the 3 big ones my senior year. And I was like, I gotta figure out where this is coming from. So I flip them over and look at who's writing these songs when it wasn't those 3 dudes.
Right.
But it's like Harlan Howard and so on and so forth. And I'm like, okay, a lot of them came out of Nashville, but they came from Texas. So, it was kind of a coin flip, but I was, I said, I gotta at least see.
Yeah.
And so I moved down there, and I lived there for 10 years. The first couple in Austin, and the rest in Houston, which at the time, which was like 93 or 94, it was seen as like driving against traffic. Because everybody came to Austin.
Yes.
From Houston and from San Antonio. Not so much from Dallas. It was big enough to have its own valence, right? But but yeah, to go from Austin to Houston, like nobody did that.
No.
But Austin frustrated me then, and it frustrates me now. It just doesn't want to admit that it's the big city that it is. This was true 35 years ago. And Houston, on the other hand, has been a big city for a long time and is not afraid of that. And, so you had world-class theater, you had the Minot Art Gallery, you had Rice University, and also a thriving music scene too. And I just liked just that aspect of itself. It was just unafraid to be who it was.
It's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I've spent very little time in Houston, more in Austin, but so yeah, interesting to make that movie. So that would be a very
and so I spent 7-ish years, I guess, in Houston, but always just doing the big triangle, like every week. Is that my phone?
It might be
Shouldn't
mine.
be my phone. I have airplane mode on.
It might be yours.
It might be mine.
Oh. So everybody watching this, it's just going like this.
Mary kept dancing to the.
But anyways, I spent like 10 years down in Texas, and during that time, I managed to end up on a big label. I was on Mercury Records. We had a record called "When the Night Is Through" in 1998. I got to tour with the Allman Brothers in 1999. Went all over the country, did all kinds of super cool things.
Yeah.
On TV, the whole, all the things, right?
We might come back to that TV.
We might have to come back. But, at the end of that, it was cool to be on the label, and it was nice to get to do all of those things, but at the same time, the label was in the middle of being swallowed up in the big Seagram's Polygram merger, the one that turned the big 4 into the big 3, which gives you an idea of the scale of this event. And so the fact that my record deal was a casualty of that was
Right.
like that big. For those of you on the radio, I have my 2 fingers together. But the Honey Dogs were also victims of that. We were on the same label, but since I didn't have an association with Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like I knew they were, but I didn't know them because they were from here and I was from there. And Adam and I commiserated upon that in the intervening decades. But that was. So I was kind of, after that was over. So the summer of 2000, I took a giant walkabout. I went around the whole country. I spent.
Wow.
Yeah, they gave me They gave me major label money,
Okay.
and then they didn't want the major label second record. But you get to keep the money because it's in the contract.
Well, that's good contract.
That's why you have good lawyers.
Yes. Always have good people.
But yeah, so I went and I saw just a whole summer's worth of major and minor league baseball.
Baseball.
I'm a huge baseball.
Okay.
So I just drove around. I mean, lots of places that the Toledo Mud Hens.
Nice.
Like that, and then also like the Cleveland, Indians, the Guardians now.
Yeah.
That's what they were called then. And just kind of all over for like the whole summer, just to clear my head, kind of figure out what happened next. And by the end of it, I was like, all right, I've made my point in Texas. Also, I was filled with a hubris that should not be overstated. I thought I could do what I was doing on there anywhere, and it might not have been the wisest choice because I was doing the Mercury record was rock and roll, but most of what I was doing was very, like they call it Texas music now. Back then they called it alt country, and it was very much rooted in the music, the country part of the music of Texas, and to bring it up here was a lot harder of a sell than I had anticipated. But when but my first winter here, I was like, I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I can see my breath. I love this. And I kind of still do.
That's awesome.
So I've been here since
That's-
I've been here since 2000 and the winter of 2001, 2002.
Out of everywhere you saw on your grand tour, why here? I mean, you get the cold weather in Fargo, Des Moines, Chicago. Why Minneapolis?
That's true. The main reason is every time I would come through here on the road, I would meet people who could really, really play.
Oh.
And that is, I mean, maybe people take it for granted here. That does not happen everywhere.
I think people do take it for granted.
Yeah.
I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously people can play in Chicago too, but it's huge.
Yeah.
You know, people can play in New York, but I'm not going back there. Right? People can play in LA, also huge. People
Yeah.
can play in Nashville, and I already made that decision in 1991.
Yeah.
So, boom, here I am. And yeah, I mean, I just love that. Like the folks that I get to work with, and I'm just in this little niche corner of the scene here. Like
Yeah.
doing this kind of, you know, Americana roots music, Texas inflected, whatever. I mean, that's not even, that's like 10% of what's going on here.
Right.
And there's still
Right.
people that can really rip it up, and it's great.
I think that's, yeah. I as we do take it for granted,
Yes.
and I think it makes it hard. It means you get to play with some great people. It means that
Yep.
audience members get sloppy with that too. You know, I think we get so spoiled. Like, I think COVID changed some of that. We're like, oh crap, we got to keep the music alive, which is great, but it's
I think so. I think that was a little bit of a wake-up call, but just about that music could go away,
yeah,
period.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's the people here, man, just, it's incredible.
And Turnby saying, would you play us a song?
Oh.
Or we're asking about, well, yes, would you play us a song? And then we'll ask you about the TV stuff later.
Let's see. How does that look on your little meters?
We are golden.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see now. Well, Colorado City, she's a mile long way south of Laramie. And my pickup trucks showed signs of knowing who to love and when to leave. Hot filling station coffee on the dashboard. There's a vision in the steam. Ooh, and loving you beats all I've ever seen. Well, flying in from Denver, saw you picture in the in-flight magazine. And your name upon a billboard down in Austin as the traffic light turned green. Well, out here you just a sad old whisper head remembered from out of a dozen dance hall scenes. Yeah. Loving you is all I've ever seen. Oh, guitar now, say. Tending bar in Jackson Hole and waiting on your dream. Singing had a cowboy band to fill the hours and spaces in between. I thought that I could lend a hand that darling, but you know I can still pick on a guitar pretty mean. All I've ever seen. make me think about it, yeah, all the live inside of me. And a week of shows, rodeo is all I know about where you might be. Colorado City, she's mighty long way south of that range. Ooh, well, loving you beats all I've ever seen. Ooh, well, loving you beats all I've ever seen.
Mary Cutrufello in studio. That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
It's fun to see you. It's fun to see you here. I've seen you play many different places, you know. But I'm like, and I always like, because you are like consummate professional. You never went louder than you should have for the radio, which is always, you know, because you're a professional.
I've done it a few times.
But it's still, it's awesome.
When I was on the big label, we signed out of New York. We were gonna sign out of Nashville, but they had no idea what to do with this. Not like New York had much better of an idea, but at least they could see it from there. Anyway, so the record comes out and they send us around to all the rock stations, right? The KQs of the world. And they sent me to the one in Houston, which is where I was living at the time. And I'm trying to remember the call letters and I can't, but it was KQ, right? But that was active rock then, not like legacy rock.
Right.
It was still people were, you know what I mean.
It was when the legacy stuff was new.
Yes, exactly. And I was, you know, trying to sculpt my legacy. I don't know. But anyway, they put us, and like the station, like I could walk there from my house, which I might even have, right? And you know, they're the Tom Barnard-y kind of dudes doing a morning show, and I'm on, and I was like supposed to be the biggest thing to come out of Houston since Clint Black. Or if you want to do on the rock side, since ZZ Top, this was the plan. And there wasn't a big enough label to make that happen. The merger, the whole thing that went down with that made that less likely, well, a lot less likely to happen. And so these two knuckleheads on the morning show, they had no idea who I was. And it's like, I can see my house from here. Also, like, they're billing me as Houston's answer to everything else. But, hey, we got Mary, how do you say it?
Yeah.
On the radio, here's her song.
Mary C.
Hey, what do you know? What do you know about yourself? It's okay. You know, if I were in Denver or Seattle or Charlotte, okay, sure.
Right.
You know, they get that sort of thing all the time. 2 blocks from my freaking house. Radio's tough, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sometimes on both sides. No, it's fun to be on this side of it. It's fun to be asking the questions. So now I am going to ask about the TV.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the Tonight Show, but we'll take.
That was not the only one.
I figured, but I said we'll take whatever.
Sure. So the record, I mean, again, to the point of we really wanted to blow this up, and when the thing fell apart with the label, when the label merger happened, the label was basically coming apart. Lots of things didn't get done, but lots of things did. So I got to do some TV, and my record was released on a Tuesday, as they used to be. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all getting old. But on that, and I played a record release in Houston, and like literally got on a plane the next day and flew out to LA to be on the Tonight Show, which was Jay Leno at the time. and it was, I guess Tonight Show is Fallon now, so it's back in New York, but at the time it was out in LA with Leno, which was super cool. It was a really cool day to be me.
Yeah.
Like, in the back of my mind, I knew that the record company was, but I wasn't thinking about that
Not
day.
that day.
I'm thinking
Right.
about they're picking me up in a limousine, and we're pulling onto the lot at NBC. There's whatever crazy cool old car Jay had decided to drive to, sitting in his spot, right? And we go and we do a kind of a blocking rehearsal where it's like, they're like, if you're gonna move around, let us know now so we know where to put the cameras, and they got all the shots and all the, and then we had lunch in the NBC commissary,
Ooh.
which, growing up where I did, we'd go, NBC was like Rockefeller Center for us.
Yes. Yeah.
The NBC commissary comes from there. This was the West Coast version. Still, the NBC commissary.
Right.
But the record clearly showed that I died in the NBC commissary. And then we did another a run through. I guess I think that was for one of them was for sound and one of them was for cameras. And then we taped at like 4:30 in the afternoon. Right, it's as they do. Had a little studio audience. I want to say Kevin Eubanks was the musical director at that time.
Nice.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And we taped the whole thing, and Jay was super nice. He's an East Coast dude, so we talked a little bit about that. And the other guests were Rob Schneider, who was in his own dressing room. I'm not a huge Rob Schneider guy, but he was, he was fine. Halle Berry was the other guest.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to think for a second who Rob Schneider. Oh, but
Yeah, but Halle Berry you didn't.
Wow, no.
And she had a really regal bearing, is the way I put it, And she's like she could actually walk around with a book on her head. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And she was very nice to us. I think she might have been married to David Justice at the time.
Okay.
The baseball player. It was around that time. And she had a movie, I guess. But she was super nice, and everybody made us feel very welcome. And at that point, I had done some TV before, so I didn't have the raging
Deer.
adrenaline. It was more of like an adrenaline rush, which is like, I'm trying to tell my body, I know what I'm doing. Like, stop with the adrenaline already. This is not a fight or flight thing. We're gonna go and rock. So, but yeah, it was a good day to be me. And my little home bar in Houston had like a watch party when it aired at like 10:30 or whenever. And then they the local brewery had drinks. They brought a keg of their own.
Oh, nice.
Beer.
Oh,
St. Arnold's is the brewery down in Houston, which would be like Summit up here.
Nice.
And they brought in, and they had specials and the whole thing. And I called it when we got done taping, so it was like happy hour-ish time there. And I'm like, hey, we just taped, we killed it, can't wait for you guys to see it, And then people are like, It's like, you got to do what you got to do. And I was like so happy to rep Houston because, Austin gets all the love, and there were good things going on in Houston, and I'm not from there, but I was from there then, and I didn't have a problem, wearing that T-shirt.
Well, in Connecticut may or may not watch, because he says it's just not a lot of purchase,
Yeah, I'm not sure they would have gotten what I was up to, especially then. Maybe a little bit more so now, but yeah, it was a great day to be me, and I get to keep it.
Yeah, I think that
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take this, especially with stuff that happened with the merger and the whatever, however we want to. It's.
Yeah, I mean, with all the things that didn't work out, you have to hold on to the things that did.
Well, and just the things that you learned from that.
I learned things I didn't even know needed learning. If you know what I mean.
And probably some you didn't want to learn, and some you didn't think all of us.
Actually, I'm using some of these skills right this second, because now I know how to do radio.
Well, you were saying
I give a mean print interview too. Just
well, there. That's. You were saying that you had a college radio show.
Yes.
And what is the difference being on your side today versus my side today? I mean,
Well, I mean, when you're on this side, the goal is to get your whatever you're trying to promote it in a way that's useful to you, right? And in the process, tell cool stories. And like, I don't really have anything to promote today other than, I'm going to be at the White Squirrel again. I don't even know if that needs promoting. But, in those days, I did. And, it's, at the risk of sounding like a politician, you do kind of have to steer things a little, if
absolutely.
If you're not asking me the questions that are going to enable me to, and that's, I think, where you get people that answer questions that weren't asked. And you're like, well, what's that about? Well, it's like, that time has value.
Right.
Now at college radio, like it's not.
That's the gift of college radio.
Yeah, it's not like that.
We don't have any ads we have to go to. We don't have any. We just want to lift people up and have conversations, and you can talk for a lot longer as opposed to you're going to have 2.5 minutes. So.
Right. Yeah. No, I did college radio, and it was great. It was like. I had a jazz show. I was super into jazz when I was in college, and we had a great collection of jazz records. And I was doing morning drive, which I'm doing air quotes on. I mean, it literally was that hour, but I was not doing the morning show. I was like, well, here's Bill Evans. And but every now and then I would do my Dr. Johnny Fever.
Nice.
Because you have to.
You'd have to.
Oh,
You'd have to.
In like 1989? Of course you had to.
Now, do you know who Dr. Johnny Fever is?
No, but the 89 should have been I'll tell you where I was in 89.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
WKRP.
Yeah,
yes.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Baby, if you ever wondered.
Yeah.
My dad would probably be disappointed in me right now.
Yeah.
You can I'm sure it's online somewhere.
I'm sure.
That was one of the funniest shows.
Oh my God. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, just a great 70s ensemble comedy, but built around a radio station. So just kind of factored those two things in together, and yeah. Apparently they had big problems with the licensing, so there's not as much of it on the internet.
Okay.
I mean, most of it is out there. Don't ask me how I know these things. I didn't do a deep dive at all.
No.
But yeah, no, it's if you like radio even a little bit, it's worth checking out.
Okay, noted.
We'll just get you the Thanksgiving show. That's really all you need to
Yes, that's a perfect place to start.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to do a deep dive, or else I'm going to say, Mary, would you like to play another song?
Oh, jeez. Like Maria, don't you cry. You feel better when the sun shines. And I'll let you look me in the eye. I look back at you deep inside my mind. Like Maria comes to call. Whenever I get feeling lonely, running down some empty highway, Lord, walking down my empty hall, curtains drawn upon my window, but there's no one waiting there for me. There's a man that lay there while I sped on through the night. It's just like Maria's fantasy. Like Maria, don't you cry. You feel better when the sun shines. And I'll let you look me in the eye. I look back at you deep inside my mind. made my mind up not to fall. Didn't need no one to hold me. Well, I said I had to do things my way. Lord, if I do anything at all, sometimes I find a man don't know. We only see what we will see, and you console me for another little while, until Black Maria comes to me. Black Maria, don't you cry. You feel better when the sun shines, and I let you look me in the eye. I look back at you, deep inside my mind. Black Maria comes to call. Whenever I get feeling lonely,
You're listening to Mary Cutrufello in studio on Mostly Minnesota Music on WMCN 91.7 FM in St. Paul. Lovely.
thank you very much.
Lovely. Now I'm just going to ask you what shows you've got coming up. What should we be talking about?
Well, let's see now. As probably people in St. Paul know by now, I play at the White Squirrel quite a bit with a band called the New Haviland Supremes, which is the first, third, and fifth Tuesday of every month from 6 to 8. Not every month has 5 Tuesdays.
Especially not February.
Not February. Maybe March. I'd have to look that up. But they actually occur regularly on the calendar, which is not a thing that I knew until I started until I had yeah.
It's nice to have a residency. I mean, it's nice to know when you can see bands play at certain times. It's really nice.
It is. It was even nicer when it was every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because all I would have to say is every Tuesday. Now it's like, well, it's the first and the third and the fifth if there's a five. Then that happens 3 or 4 times a year. And that does mean that there are 2 weeks that we play consecutively, but it's because it's the fifth and the first and there's never a sixth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can sense my frustration.
Yes. Yes.
The fourth Friday of the month there's 4 Fridays in every month. I checked. The Mary Cutrufello band, which is a slightly more heartland rock version of the thing that I do. We play both of the songs I play in both bands, but most of the songs are either in one band or the other. And that's also from 6 to 8 at the White Squirrel. So the next one is the 27th, which I think is this coming...
Yes.
Yeah, this coming Friday.
Yes.
And that's a fun time. It's, like I said, it's a little more rock and roll. And that happens once a month with much more regularity.
Well, and we could, because I always take an opportunity to lift up the White Squirrel. For folks who don't know, it's...
Absolutely. It's
yes.
one of the crown jewels of St. Paul.
It absolutely a gift to West 7th like nobody's
Yes,
business.
absolutely.
It's, it always music. Almost every night there's music. I mean, there's some rare exceptions there, but almost every night
But
music.
even those nights have their own charms.
Little bingo or a little...
Hashtag bingo with Pete, yeah.
Yeah. It's, I mean, and it's... There's no cover charge.
Right.
Yeah, and beautiful patio. Not so helpful today.
No, but
many months
it's time
of the
will
year.
come again.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's a great place for anybody who's interested in playing music to hang out, because there are a lot of... just saying, we were at Red Wing Big Turn, and the first... Well, I saw Chris from from the Squirrel play at Wayside yesterday.
Oh,
saw
nice.
Nathan play on Friday, and we could go
Sweet.
through all the names. And it's, I mean, I've always noticed, I mean, sometimes I'll fight people that I want to have on the show there, but I'm like, what an impact having the White Squirrel is when I
Yes.
see how many people in the bands at the festival, I know from there or I've seen there.
Absolutely. And it's great for me because, I mean, I don't get out as much as I did when I was younger, and also I don't know which bands to see, you know, and having that residency, the Tuesday one in particular, different people come in for the 9 o'clock show all the time.
Yeah.
And I have found so many new bands just by just hanging out and talking to my people, you know, and then just kind of sitting down and having a drink and hearing what happens next. And it's always something that, it's almost always something unexpected. But even when it's unexpected,
even when it's, how you finish that sentence,
I know.
I've seen you see some bands
put myself into a corner there. But even when it's expected, it's like, ooh, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all kinds of stuff. The 6 to 8 slot tends to be kind of rootsy, but the 9 to 12 could be anything.
There was Metal Monday for a while, and then
there's ambient stuff. There's people with their pedal board on a card table.
Yeah. Yes.
You know?
Yeah. A lot of electronic.
I'm like, what are you doing? But I'm like, the next thing I know, I'm like, wow, I'm just sitting there listening to this. It's like, I didn't know you could do that with a delay pedal. You know?
It is, it's low risk, high reward.
Eric Carranza, I'm looking at you. I'll shout out my friends.
Yeah, well, as you should. Yeah. And I was just going to say, and you've got other shows not at the Squirrel, too.
I actually do have shows not at the Squirrel. I was at Animala's Barbecue last night, which is a fun place, too. The food is phenomenal. We'll be back there. I don't know when yet. But this Saturday, I'll be at the 318 in Excelsior, which is a delightful listening room.
Yeah.
With Richard Crean. I think that's how he pronounces his name. Kriehm. He's an amazing mandolin player. And his skills at mandolin are extended out to fiddle and violin.
Wow.
He's world class. And we ran into each other at a protest event. One of the ones from the fall. Not No Kings, but a similar thing. And we were both on the bill, and we got introduced, and he said, "Man, I do this thing at 318. We should do it together." And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" Right? I'm in. And so now we're doing it.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna do I think we're gonna swap tunes and maybe accompany each other. I'm not really sure, but we're gonna have a good time.
It's sort of the antithesis to the White Squirrel, though. I have to laugh.
Because 318?
318, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, and to get back to there's so much great music here in different places and different venues and different...
Yeah, and different ways. I mean, it's... 318 is a listening room.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Whereas the White Squirrel is a little bit more of it's the bar vibe.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can shut them up.
Yep.
If you know what you're doing.
Yep.
But it's not really designed for that.
No.
So, depends on what you want out of your evening.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm looking at that. Would you like to play one more song?
Oh, I suppose I could.
That would be awesome.
If you leave, if you go, there's just one thing I want you to know. You'll be inside me for the rest of my life. I don't want to apologize, and I won't think twice, baby. I still love you forever. Just like I told you. Just like I told you I would. Now I can cry, and I can run. I can't change things I've done. This heart that I own, I light a candle just in case you ever want to come home. And I still love you forever. Just like I told you I would. I would, yeah, yeah. I still love you forever. Just like I told you. Just like I told you I would. I would. Well, you know I would. Just like I told you. Like I told you I would. Yeah, yeah. Just like I told you, baby. Oh, I still love you forever. Just like I told you. Just like I told you, baby. Yeah, yeah. I still love you forever. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Just like I told you. Just like I told you I would.
Mary Cutrufello in studio.
Oh, thank you very much.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Amazing. Your voice is amazing. I like Americana country, like all of that. But sometimes my favorite time to see you play is at Liz Winstead's.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm trying to remember. And it's feminist singing terrible songs. I can't remember if she has a more clever way of saying.
I forget the exact name, but
I know what you're
the
talking
premise.
about.
The premise of it is the obnoxiously sexist and misogynistic songs, of which there are so many, and she enlists a bunch of us, they're not dudes, to sing them and kind of reclaim them or reimagine
That's it.
them.
Reclaiming that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes to a good cause.
Abortion Access Front.
Abortion AF. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yes.
And she's great, and she does a really good job of that. And yes, you do get to sing those songs that are obnoxiously misogynistic, but good in every other way.
Which stinks because you don't want to like them. I want to like when I hear you sing. You know what I mean? But
I have to like them as a musician. I have to like them because a great song musically, a great guitar solo is a great guitar solo. It doesn't matter what lyric it's attached to. Right. Yeah, and also a lot of them, I think, for those of us that grew up in the classic rock era, we were kids. We didn't. First of all, we wouldn't have known that, but B, nobody was thinking that way. Or very few people in the mainstream.
Not necessarily in that feminist.
We're not going, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Some Girls isn't the greatest Rolling Stones song of all time. Like, nobody said that in 1978.
No. No,
right?
no.
I mean, I'm
and
sure
they're-
some people, but not in the grand.
No, not in the mainstream. Not
mainstream,
in the, yeah,
right.
Not the ethos.
And so it's it's kind of baked in because that's the the last great Stones record.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's can be debated, but still, it's one of the last great Stones records. And also Some Girls. So if you don't know what I'm talking, you can look it up for yourself.
No, yeah. I mean, there's a whole slew of them that you're like, no.
Yeah, also, they were pretty solid offenders in that department. But,
in every department, I think.
but Mick Taylor is one of my favorite guitar players.
Mm.
So is Keith, for that matter. And I can't. I'm not gonna quit watching baseball because Ty Cobb is a jerk.
That's fair.
There you go.
That's fair.
She shrugs her shoulders for those of us listening.
I'm looking at the clock on the wall.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so remind folks where they can see you play this week.
Oh, yeah, this week.
In the next week.
Friday at the White Squirrel with the Merry Band. February 27th, 6 to 8. And that's on West 7th at Randolph in St. Paul. And then Saturday at the 318 in Excelsior. Excelsior! I just have to say that.
Yeah.
With Richard Crean. And it'll be just the two of us doing kind of a Fools on Stools thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday the following.
The following Tuesday will be a New Haviland Supremes White Squirrel date from 6 to 8. And that's the country-ish thing that I do, where I play songs from my Texas days in the 90s. And that's got Dan Lowinger, Greg Schutte, and Eric Lillestall. Again, circling back to people here can really play.
Yeah. And those are some fantastic musicians.
Yes, it's a great band.
Yeah, yes. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Delightful. I'm glad we finally made this
I know.
work.
This was very good. Very good. We're going to go back to some recorded music. We got a song about Red or Wings coming up.
Yeah, maybe Little Red Corvette from Prince.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll have to come back when I've got something to plug other than the White Squirrel.
Sometimes it's fun to...
Also, nothing wrong with plugging the White Squirrel.
No, there is not, as you mentioned.